This is a Genomics Integrated Wellness System discussion of blood test and the corresponding blood analytics. As you can see, an individual patient can have one or many blood tests which represent the patient's progress through time and how their blood test results modify through time. We all know that the current model for analyzing blood within the medical community by all medical practitioners is a fairly intensive and extensive process. If a physician or a medical practitioner were to adequately evaluate all the possible combinations of diagnosed conditions and arrive at a diagnosed condition for a particular patient based on a point-in-time blood test. For a physician or medical provider to adequately diagnose an individual patient would require on average about 40 hours per year per patient, which equates to about 50 patients per year total for a physician. As we all know, this is an untenable business model for medical practitioners. Ergo, physicians have developed shortcuts to save time and have been extraordinarily clever in their application of shortcuts. Essentially, when a patient has a blood test, they have optimal values and then SI and conventional values for both elevated and decreased levels. The medical provider typically treats all values beyond either the increased or decreased levels for SI and conventional values as an equivalent. Therefore, primary, secondary, and tertiary diagnosed conditions are arrived at via a greater than or less than switch with respect to the optimal values for each portion of the blood test. One of the downsides for this is that the fidelity or the coarseness of the diagnosed conditions are independent of the actual value for a specific blood test. Our system at Genomics Integrated Wellness System has a slightly different approach. What we have been able to do through our machine learning algorithms is we have been able to partition the result sets and the components that make up a diagnosed condition with respect to a specific component of the blood test. And this enables us to actually run machine learning algorithms and look at all of the diagnosed blood conditions in a matter of seconds as opposed to hours. The net result of this is that the fidelity of the diagnosed condition for primary, secondary, and tertiary conditions are now able to be evaluated and examined. What we do in our system is quite simple. We look at the blood analysis component, which is partitioned into logical functional systems within the human body. For example, we can look at the endocrine system, we can look at the thyroid. You all know that various blood tests are prescribed. We can look at hydration, we can look at sugar handling for the liver, the pancreas, and the adrenals. We can also look at the musculoskeletal system for fatty acids and tissue minerals. And then we can also look at digestion for the stomach and the gallbladder. These informations are adjustable per functional system for the individual physician and their patient as the physician deems necessary. The net effect of this is a dynamic, self-adapting, self-learning set of machine learning algorithms that will adjust to the various diagnosed conditions for a particular patient. What we do is for each blood component, whether the values are increased or decreased, we can then produce a machine learning algorithm that will actually produce a rendering of the aggregated diagnosed conditions, the darkest color being the most likely diagnosed condition for the patient, and the physician can also examine how related dysfunctions and or conditions may affect the primary diagnosed condition. In this particular case, we are using a clustering model for the diagnosed conditions based on the blood test results. We can also look at secondary diagnosed conditions for clustering in this particular case. This is a histogram, so the physician can actually go in and examine the information as desired. We also provide association models. That wasn't an association model, but this one is. And as you can see, we can look at the primary diagnosed condition and the association of other diagnosed conditions as they relate to the individual's blood tests. This has been a brief and cursory introduction into blood analytics for the Genomics Integrated Wellness Systems. Thank you.